folks, hope you had a good week last week. Here we're looking at this week's price action trading levels for 30th of June to the 4th of July. Kicking off with EURUSD. We still have the levels from last week on here, 136.93 and 134.81. It's still pointing up. In theory it's going to come up to 136.93, 137 level, at which point we'll be looking for a sell down from here with the correct price action candlestick. We did actually get a long trade in on this part of this move last week. Took about 30 pips off it before we got our stop to break even, but it looked like it was going to turn around here, to be honest, but it didn't. It actually spiked back up back up to where we took profit, and that's where it's sat right now. So the euro is being a bit of a pain at the moment, so we've really got to wait for these levels now before we go jumping into any more trades on this pair. So moving on to GBPUSD, you can see here it broke and held the 1.7 level just here, and it's given us another kind of resistance level just here. So we'll be looking to go long from the 1.7 level with the correct price action candle, or long of a break of this level here, which is 170.50ish, with again of course the correct price action setup. On a pullback under here, look to go short if we break back under 1.70 with a decent candlestick. NZDUSD here, you can see it's sitting right up here at the all-time highs at 0.8778. There was a bit of a short movement down off this level on Thursday night, but it's since popped back up to very close to the all-time highs. So if you're going to be looking to go short here, get a decent bearish candlestick in here to trade back down to 86.64. On a break of this level, obviously you've got to look for, a good bullish setup to get long from this level, because this could hold it for quite a while. On Aussie dollar here, a little bit of care needed. You can see this bearish candlestick here, and it made absolutely no difference to this move, the up move here. It's now right up here at 0.9431, which is back at the highs. So you've got to look for a decent bearish candlestick setup here to get short. However, I would be looking at something like this to go short on this pair. If you put in a trend line like that, you can see the touches. It may be worthwhile, if you're going to go short, as this bearish candlestick here failed, it may be worthwhile, if you want to get short, to wait until this trend line is actually broken to the downside with a decent price action candle, a break in and a retest. Just because of this bearish candlestick did nothing much to halt this uptrend. If we break over this level, then look to go long on a decent bullish candlestick setup. On AUDNZD here, you can see it's broken this zone here, this previous supporting zone, quite strongly. I've got another zone marked in here, which is where it's at the moment, at 107.18. You can see here, look, previous resistance just here. Could be finding support here, but to trade this back up long, you're going to need to see this break back over 107.65, this previous level here. So if you're going to get long on this pair, I would look to the 106.52 level to get long for this one. To go short, look for either a short candlestick of 1.0765 or a break under 1.0718. These locations here right now are quite important for this pair. You can see lots and lots of previous support and resistance here. I think what's going to happen here is it's going to break down here to 106.52, where we will watch for bullish candlesticks to come back up long. On AUDJPY, remember we marked this extra zone in here last week. It's been trading in this zone, so this tells me we've got a breakout zone here which has been for the last about the last 10 days. So for this particular one here, if we get a hard breakdown to 93.61, then you're looking to go long off there. To go short, I think we're going to need to look underneath 93.61 with a good break under there. You know, some price action underneath 93.61 to get us in short, because this is in quite a big uptrend. This may be just a bit of a break in this uptrend, this previous uptrend, and to get long, as I said, obviously long from here 93.61 or long over 96.093 or the 96 level. When it breaks this level here, if you see a decent price action break over here, then you could get long out of here. But at the moment you can see it's stuck in this range. So this is the range to keep an eye on this week. On EURAUD, put this trend line in here a little while back. It's still been stuck again, similar to AUDJPY, stuck in some kind of range here. Let's just make that a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. You can see this level here, 145.37, showing resistance to the upside, and this trend line again it's held it twice here since then. So if we're going to get long, you could look for a long trade off this trend line if it comes back again and tests it. If it breaks it, then look to go short under this trend line, so that's going to be around the 144 level, probably, maybe a bit lower, 143.90, with a proper bearish price action setup. It is looking bearish, so assume that's why it's having trouble getting back up over this resistance zone here, that the price is actually bearish. That's why it can't get back over here. If it does break over this 145.37 level, then you can assume that the bulls have got some power here. So look to get long on a bullish price action candle above 145.37. So watch these levels in here. Let me just put an extra line in here, somewhere here. Look, 143.70 to 144 or 145.37. Let's take a look at EURJPY here. How much has it moved? Not a lot, to be honest, for EURJPY. From that level there, 107 pips up and 96 pips down, so which is nothing for this pair. So this one is kind of stuck in this position here. If we were to put a small support line just there, what you could be looking at doing is, if the price breaks under here, this is around about 137.85, you could look for trading this short if you wanted a quick short trade down to 136.59, but that is only if there's a proper price action candle break under here. I think it's going to continue sideways for a bit, but without a doubt the 139.31 level just here, or this level here, is going to provide, your lines in the sand for this pair. If we break over here, then it's back up to 140.50, and breaking over there is back up to 143.32. So these are the important levels to watch on this pair, around 137.73, 139.27, and obviously if it comes down to 136.59, then you can look to go long off that position there with a decent bullish candlestick. GBPJPY is another pair which normally gives some really nice moves during the week. If you look at this particular move here, I mean, that's a good 300, 400 pips. But on this pair last week, it only moved 100 pips, which is nothing for this pair. So something's going to be happening with this one fairly soon. You can see this level here. Let's just tidy that up a little bit. It's definitely a previous resistance zone here. See this resistance, and it's broken it here, and it's tried to find support here at 172.71, and it's broken it here. This candlestick has broken this level. So if we get a bit of a further pull down on this and then a retest of this level, then look to go short on GBPJPY around 172.71 to possibly down to 172.26, wherever the price action sorts itself out in here. But this is the spot you want to be watching on this pair. I wouldn't go long out of 172.71. You should look to go long on a proper break and then a retest, a failed retest of 173.36. But if you can get short under here, it could drop all the way down to 169.90. USDJPY here, talk about range bound. This is about 150 pip range, 145, 150 pip range here it's trading in right now. So if it's going to break, it's going to obviously break hard in one direction or the other, but as we are at the moment, you've got to look for bullish price action candles to trade back up to this level here. If it breaks under this level, then obviously you've got to wait for the right price action to tell you. See this candlestick here? It broke under, and this one here broke under, but this wasn't a price action candlestick. It didn't break, retest it, fail and turn into resistance and carry on back down. It's bounced every single time. So on this particular pair, it's long after a bullish candlestick out of the 101.30 level, or short at this level if we get a decent break with a proper price action candle. If we come back up here, which we may well do with some of the news coming up in the week, then look for a similar thing, a break back down. See this candlestick here? This bearish candlestick here, see how it worked, brought it back down? Look for a similar thing just here. If we break back over, then again it's price action to tell you to go long out of this range. So here's the big picture on USDCAD. You can see it's broken this previous resistance level just here. So if we're going to come short on here, if we just magnify up into that a bit, if you're going to get short into here, if we get a retrace back up to this 1.0707 level and it fails to break back over, then you've got an entry point just here at the bottom of this candlestick. This is what I'm talking about when I say breaks and price action breaks. You let it retest, then if it fails, then you've got an entry point here with a stop loss location at the failure point. So you need to keep an eye on this to see if it bounces back up here and makes a retest at this level. If it continues on down, then there's not much we can do till it gets down around about this level here, the 1.05778 level. If we get a bounce out of here and it does actually come back over this level, then it could be a false breakout, of which we can look to trade back up in this direction here. But if you look at the overall or the underlying price trend here, you can see it's down. So really I'll be looking for this to pull back to this level to continue in the short direction. Taking a look at the news for next week, you can see here there's quite a few news items which could provide movements at the levels that we're at. Particular NZD, AUD, got the rate statement which normally provides a big movement, and on Thursday this week, not Friday, you've got the non-farm payrolls just here. There is no news on Friday from the US. The US will be on holiday on Friday. It's 4th of July, Independence Day. So it looks like the non-farm payroll announcement has been moved to Thursday. So you need to watch out for that. If you didn't know it was coming on Thursday, you do now. There's several items in here which could move the charts at the levels we've specified. If you're wondering what I'm using for the news here, it's Forex Factory. It's very easy to filter the news into what we want. I just look at mainly the red news, tier 1 data. So the ones to look out for here is the NZD Monday morning, the Aussie dollar on Tuesday, and you've got Yellen talking on Wednesday, and then the big one which is the NFP this Thursday. So that's it for this week for our price trading levels. Be aware that it is a very busy week with regards to news, so be very careful in what you're doing. Always trade with stops and be safe. If you like what we do here, then please send us a comment, give us a like, or subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.